Hello and welcome. Silrace here with Mechwarrior Online, and this is Mist Lynx guide. Yes, I realize I made an adder guide a little while ago, but people seem to be struggling with their Mist Lynxes, so I figure I might just as well, do this next. Keep tab on the screen and the loadouts in the bottom right corner, so you'll see some of the builds which worked out for me, and well, builds I was fiddling around with anyways, and I'll get to more of those in a bit. But firstly, couple of words on the stuff. This is not a competition mag. Don't ever bring this into any kind of competition unless it receives massive buffs after this video has been made and so forth. This is also completely outdone by Kit Fox for group support and completely outdone by Adder for actual fire support. So if you are bringing Mist Lynx into community warfare, have a really good reason to bring it instead of bringing a Kit Fox or Adder. With those said, let's talk about some general strengths and weaknesses of the chassis itself. So weaknesses first. It is Clan Light Mech, which only goes 124 kilometers per hour. Makes it faster than Kit Fox or Adder, but there are still Inner Sphere medium mechs which can reach about those speeds. And it doesn't outrun any of the damn Inner Sphere lights. So it makes it pretty bad at dueling because it cannot keep up with other lights and so forth. And there is Clan Active Probe, which is both a positive and negative because it obviously eats 1 ton of pod space, but at least it's an active probe, it does something with that 1 ton. Same thing with the jump jets. Jump jets are both a positive and a negative. You could add in more and bigger guns if you took away those jump jets, but since you cannot, they are there for you to jump around with and you have to use them in your build. So some strengths then. It does have jump jet, so it has mobility, and it is 25 ton mech with jump jet. That means it can jump pretty damn high. It has the Clan Active Probe, which you should keep an eye on because, well, it is there. And, well, aside of that, it can mount an ECM. But it only has 6.5 tons of pod space to play around with, which is not really good. So yeah, that is with, rounding armor to the nearest half ton. Anyways. Firstly, I tried this with ECM, and then I tried it without ECM. And conclusion right away, before I get to details and stuff, run this without ECM. Unless you absolutely must bring it for some reason with the ECM instead of bringing a Kit Fox with ECM, right? Okay. So some actual details on this stuff then. To explain my reasoning behind all that and so forth. Essentially, a big problem with the Mist Lynx is, well, twofold, I guess. Firstly is the active probe, and you lose the active probe's counter ECM properties as soon as you mount an ECM. That means that you only get couple minor bonuses from the Clan Active Probe, such as being able to detect shutdown mechs or having a slightly long sensor range. Don't need all of that too often. At least I don't find that I need all those all too often when I am playing ECM support for my team, which this is pretty much relegated into because of its lack of speed and all that stuff. So ECM, let's talk about the ECM version first. As soon as you mount the ECM on the mech, you basically lose half of your firepower. ECM goes into an arm slot, and so that means you only have, well, 1 arm to put weapons in, and there are only hard points for weapons in the arms for this particular mech. So if you're running ECM, then you probably want the arm with 2 energy hard points, so you can put couple medium lasers in there and just keep going with that setup. It so far worked for me the most. Although I did try it with ECM and a large laser and hanging around in weird places you can get to with the jump jets and the small, you know, frame and poking at things from extreme ranges, which was fun for a moment, but it is not exactly the strength of this chassis, especially if some other hostile light mech just wants to come and dig you out, and it will absolutely destroy you every single time. So, while I tried it out, it simply did not work for me. You might try it out if you think you can do it better, and if it suits your playstyle. It didn't mine. So, with the ECM you wanna play it as a group support, give your ECM bubble to the team, all that stuff. And do some work with the whatever weapons you decide to put in the other arm. After trying this with ECM and failing at it a few times, I decided to drop the ECM and go full-blown guns. And put the clan active probe into an actual use because, well, it is a wasted ton, essentially, as soon as you mount the ECM. So I just tried it with streak missiles. Because while you have clan active probe, you can disable ECMs. That means you can get lock-ons with for pretty much everything at the ranges you can fire streak short-range missiles at anyways. And well, it was kind of successful. The problem is that you have to expose yourself quite a bit for quite a number of seconds to really fire those short-range streaks off. Especially if you need to get your lock yourself instead of having someone, you know, spot the target for you to get the lock on behind a corner and then poke out just to fire the streaks and maybe your lasers and pull back behind a corner. Or even jump over a building to do it with. So I was trying those out and they weren't really working for me all that well, but it can work. It actually can make this a somewhat effective light hunter. When you are running around with a streak 6 and couple medium lasers or small pulse lasers like I was doing, it can actually work pretty well against other light mechs, but it's still... Once you come across something which actually wants to duel you and destroy you, it will duel and destroy you. A proper light mech built for hunting other light mechs. So then I went back to the tried and true stuff from my Adder play, which is to mount short-range missiles and, well, non-streak variant short-range missiles, medium lasers, well, small pulse lasers, these kind of things, and went to town. And suddenly I was doing much better. I could basically jump jet over a building and fire short-range missiles over it. I could jump jet over hostile mechs and keep shoot them into the head while doing that from the above and all those things. Because, well, firstly the weapons happen to be in arms, so you can aim them really low or really high if they happen to be above you for whatever reason. And also, so using the mobility of this chassis to get to places and circle enemies in such a way that, well, I could do some things, right? You could obviously smack in a large laser and a couple medium lasers with the 6.5 tons and then try to poke at things from range and pretend that you are Commander 1B with a, you know, active probe and jump jet, which can work as well. I didn't find it so awesome though, because Kid Fox does it so much better. It can mount 2 Clan Lords lasers after all. So I just kept this as a short range, more of a striker instead of a brawling, because this thing really cannot take any shots. But striking from angles which are not expected is essentially the strongest thing, and especially try to deter enemy scouts or anyone else with an ECM from, you know, screwing over your team. Such as, for example, Atlas DDCs who want to come into brawling range, get in at their back and their ECM is disabled. Works pretty well. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this helped you out if you are struggling with your Mist Lynx. Remember, use your mobility, use that clan active probe. This is my recommendation. Do not put on the ECM, or rather try it out and see if it works for you, and then figure out if that's how you wanna play it. My recommendation, do not use it. Leave that for the Kid Fox to do, because you lose all the guns in the arm as soon as you mount the ECM. Thank you very much for watching.